Welcome back to another episode of the Cheap Seats Podcast. Before I do the intros, let me tell you how much better our intro video is now that it's updated. The music's fire. It gives me the Empire feel. I love it. The new intro is fire. But let's go around the horn real quick. I will get to the newcomer last. I want to give him a proper introduction. But we always start off with the man that runs the ones and twos, the Prince of Production on Sports Empire Network. It's Kyle Edwards. He is on mute.
Muted.
He doesn't
He's
know,
on mute.
but it's okay. I'll say
What's up, everybody? Glad to be here for another episode. We got the addition. Like you said, Gene, you'll give him the proper introduction. A little bit under the weather, but I'm ready to bring the energy anyway. So.
You got to bring that fire because you know who brings the fire every episode, who brings the energy every episode. It's Big J, Jordan Gene Lewis. He's not, listen, Jordan is not compensating for anything with that nickname. He is just Big J.
What's going on? Welcome, Dylan, to the show, man. Another great addition to the show. I'm excited. We got some basketball tonight. Is Denver going to be crowned champion tonight? We'll see. But yeah,
our predictions at the end of the show.
Yep. I'm doing good. I'm blessed, man. So let's have another good episode tonight, fellas.
I don't know if he's chasing his cat around the room, what he's doing.
Yeah, I had food on the table and she just smacked it down and I had to pick it up real quick.
25-pound cat you have?
No,
guy. Guy hops on here and he's chasing cats around immediately. But Dylan Reed, a guy that I've done Sunday morning drive with, a staple on the Big Three. The guy knows sports. He's a Seattle Seahawks fan. Don't judge him for that. I think he's an Atlanta Hawks fan, too. I think he's got a thing with Hawks. He just likes the Hawk thing, but it's okay. Dylan Reed, welcome to the Cheap Seats Podcast. Hopefully, we can keep a fourth co-host with us for more than couple shows. Dylan is the man. I appreciate your knowledge of sports. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I mean, I've worked with Kyle before. I've worked with actually all three of you guys before, mainly Kyle and Jordan, especially being on the Big Three. So definitely not going to be scared away. I've definitely heard all of your guys' takes, and I've definitely heard the wildest takes here, and I've definitely heard some of the really best takes here as well. So I'm excited. I'm excited to be on another show. I was definitely looking forward to be on one, and looking forward to being on another show with you, Gene, because I definitely like your takes. I like your ideas. We kind of have the same thought process when it comes to specific things, so I'm excited.
I appreciate
I want to be before we get into the topics, I want to be real. Dylan, if Gene hits him up, Dylan always is on it, man. You can always rely on Dylan.
You know what he was talking about when he said the wildest takes on this show. Talking about you, Jordan.
Oh man,
that's what he's talking about. He didn't call you out by name.
Apparently, Freddie said I'm Skip, so whatever.
Whatever. You could be Skip, or you. Skip.
Apparently, he scares people away like I do. So
what's up to the chat? Freddie, Powell, Coach Dante, Jory, Con Man, all y'all in the chat. Doug, what's popping? Doug?
Michael? How you doing, Cook Con, man?
All right, but we got our first topic of the night. Kyle Edwards. I know you have the graphics ready.
Yep.
Throw one up.
Okay. Let's go with this one.
First topic of the night. What's up, Jonathan? My man Jonathan in the chat. I'm going to stop messing up Jordan's name. It's Jean-Louis, not Gene Lewis. I love that you put a graphic on it. So the question was, actually, you know what? Let me let the person that has the question read the question. I digress.
Starting with the newcomer. So basically my question was, I was looking through NFL quarterback, just the quarterbacks we have, and then looking through past draft classes, and looking through this year's draft class last year's draft class and even the one before, you have a lot of different question marks and a lot of different like quarterbacks that you really don't have a lot of 100% answers for. So the question I pose is, when it's all said and done, which one of these draft classes do you think will go down as the best out of the three? And then if you want, just for a simple, like another take, which quarterback do you think will be the best out of all of the draft classes then? I know probably Trevor Lawrence might be the hot answer, but overall, I would just like to see if any of you guys pose any different other question or different other quarterbacks, I would say.
That's actually a lot tougher question than it sounds like. Yeah. But Dylan, because it is your question, you pick the order, my friend. Who goes first, who goes last, and who's in the middle?
Well, we'll start from top to bottom. Kyle doesn't usually start first. He's normally last. I want to hear Kyle's take first. I'm excited to hear Kyle's take.
Okay. Don't put me on the spot. I'm ready. All right, so when I looked at these three classes, I feel like it's probably easy to write off 2022. The best quarterback from that class is probably Pickett or Purdy currently. You know, Ritter, hey, Atlanta believes in him. Jury's still out for me. 2021, you know, we know Lawrence. You got Mac Jones. You got Justin Fields, Lance, who we haven't seen. I mean, it kind of looks like Lawrence might carry that class, but I do think Fields should be better. I'm still holding out hope. With Bill O'Brien, Mac Jones will be better. Lance, we just need to see him play. I mean, 2023 looks like it's just Bryce Young. I mean, Hendon Hooker, who we all fans of. CJ Stroud, I think, has some question marks. Richardson, question marks. So I think I go 2021. I truly believe that Justin Fields takes a step up, joins Lawrence, and like I said, I think Mac Jones bounces back this year.
Okay. All right, let's break this down I'm going to break this down in a fun way. I've deleted 2022. Like, you could throw 2022 out the window. Kenny Pickett is a moderate quarterback at best. That's what I think he'll be for his entire career. I don't think he'll ever crack the top 10 in quarterbacks in the NFL, whereas I think the other two draft classes could.
Mm-hmm.
All the quarterbacks in all three draft classes, you guys know, I think the most high of Trevor Lawrence. I have Trevor Lawrence currently sitting as my fifth best quarterback in the NFL. I have him fifth, one ahead of Justin Herbert. It's going to be tough to top that. Justin Fields, I think, is extremely underrated. Extremely underrated. I think Justin Fields this year will look a million times better. He was throwing to Kyle Jordan and I and had an offensive line built of Dylans. Yeah, it just isn't a thing. Yeah. His offensive line is terrible. His wide receiving core was terrible, and his defense was 26th in the league. I think Justin Fields is going to be the second or third best quarterback in this graphic. But it gets interesting with 2023. I think there's three quarterbacks that have the ability to be special. One's Bryce Young, who I think is a surefire, no doubt about it, stud quarterback. I think his floor is a Pro Bowl quarterback. CJ Stroud, and my third best quarterback in this class is Hendon Hooker. I think all three of those guys could be I think all three of those guys could be top 15 quarterbacks in football. I'll answer that question in a minute. I don't talk to non-football fans that have no idea about football and say things.
He said just joking. He said he was joking. Okay. I rubbed my eyes and was like, "Am I reading that right?"
But I think I'm going to give the nod to 2021 because I think Lawrence and Fields will carry that class, and I think Trey Lance will end up being a good, serviceable quarterback. 2022 can just be deleted. I see Kenny Pickett and two backups on the screen. That's what I see.
Sam Howell's there too, the third backup.
Okay, three backups. Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, and Hendon Hooker, I think, are a close second. If I'm rating the quarterbacks, if I was starting a team tomorrow, I would go Lawrence, Bryce Young, Justin Fields, C.J. Stroud, Hendon Hooker. So they have 3 of the top 5. And then I have Kenny Pickett 6. So I'll go 2021 slightly.
Mm-hmm. So it's my go, right? Yep. So I like how Gene said in the beginning, like kind of throw 2022 out for that list because obviously we didn't really expect Brock Purdy to play because he was Mr. Irrelevant. I mean, I know the quarterback room was kind of Jimmy G went down, Trey Lance was hurt, so obviously next man up. Me being a Ravens fan and Kenny Pickett in my division, there's so many unproven things. Like I guess in his defense, he hadn't really had a top receiver. I know he has George Pickens, I think, but other than that, like he has subpar receivers. I mean, I like Najee Harris. So I mean, it's kind of early. I mean, it's not early, but I guess it's still early in his career to like judge Kenny Pickett. But I feel like I agree with Gene. Like I don't think he's gonna crack the top 10, but he might be outside the top 10, like maybe like 16, 17, depending on how he does this year. I mean, he still has a great coach, Mike Tomlin, so that's a plus for him. I mean, in 2023, it's so unproven because like Bryce Young, yes, they've all played good at college.
The whole thing is predicting. Yeah. We're asking 2021, 2022, 2023. You could say it's unproven, but we're asking you to compare the 3.
I mean, like
project, Gordon, project.
Okay, project. I'm projecting. So 2021, I think is the best class. Like Kyle said, Justin Fields should have been the number 1 quarterback in that class, like out of those 3. But Lawrence kind of like, I mean, I have Lawrence 5th on my QB list going into the season. Mac Jones, I have like top 15, I think. So Justin Fields, I mean, he have DJ Moore now, so he has a better receiver that he's had. So if I had to rank the classes, I go 2021 number 1. I'd say 2023 because the talent, because like Richardson has the athleticity of Lamar Jackson, has the arm of a Cam Newton, and the status of like a Patrick Mahomes. I would say like getting outside the pocket.
What?
Yes.
Man, you made him the greatest quarterback of all time.
Well, I'm saying just the abilities, the abilities.
You better switch your answer to 2023 right now.
Anthony Richardson is a combo of Lamar Jackson, Cam Newton, and Patrick Mahomes.
Well, I forget the third comparison. I know it was Lamar Jackson for the athleticism. It was the arm strength for Cam Newton, and then it was I forget the third comparison.
You just compared him to Cam Newton just because that's the easiest comparison to give him.
Like, don't start. Like,
how would you say he has the arm of Cam Newton? I wouldn't say he necessarily has the arm of Cam Newton.
I mean,
he can throw the ball deep. So can Josh Allen.
Pro day. I mean, I know pro day you're not really facing any linemen, whatever, but he has an arm. He has a cannon. Like, I'm not going.
He has a great arm.
So
he has a very powerful arm. I can't say great arm because I don't think he can make all the throws.
Yeah, I didn't say great. I just said like Cam Newton, like just a cannon of an arm. So I think that
you go
the best
2021
class is 2021.
and 2023.
Yeah, because Lawrence kind of is proven. Mac Jones he can get there. Let's see how he can do with Juju Smith this year in that offense, and then Justin Fields can maybe surpass Mac Jones and be number 2 in that.
All right, before we go to Dylan, I need you to throw up Doug's last comment. Doug, I'm going to call a violation on you. You cannot refer to a Pro Bowl quarterback in the NFL and not know his first name. It's Mac Jones. Please, Doug, I love you. It's Mac Jones. Dylan.
Okay. So, I mean, yeah, I kind of throw in 2022 in there. Doesn't really make it seem all so fair, but at the end of the day, I kind of threw it in there being a most recent draft class. Maybe I know some people are a little bit higher on Brock Purdy. I know some people are a little bit higher on Kenny Pickett. Kind of threw it out there. Get people's consensus. But overall, yeah, 2021 is the best class. You got Trevor Lawrence, who's obviously a proven star. A lot of these quarterbacks in these situations, when you look at 2021 and even 2023, are in a lot better situations being rookies and, kind of more of a veteran now when you're getting into it than these 2022 quarterbacks. If you look at Bryce Young, for example, you see how the Panthers built the team to give him proper weapons, proper coverage to help a rookie quarterback. You look at Anthony Richardson, might maybe not be the greatest, options there, but they still have great coaching, good good line. They're going to help him out there. You even look at C.J. Stroud. They made moves to help him out there. You look at Kenny Pickett. They drafted some offensive line. They didn't really address receiver that much. Okay, Desmond Ridder. They got Bijan Robinson. Their offensive line's already been pretty good, but the defense is still a little lackluster. Brock Purdy, he's kind of in a weird situation. I don't know. Is he going to play? Is he going to start? It seems like Trey Lance might be that guy there. Who knows? So he'll be in a great situation if he's there to start again. And then you go to the 2021 guys. Trevor Lawrence just came off of a great year, making the playoffs. Mac Jones, no offense to you, Kyle, but the Patriots did give him some weapons. I'm not sure if they've made any big drastic moves, to make it seem like he's going to have this big progression year. But, Bill Belichick still being the coach that he is, can definitely turn him into a better quarterback just coaching year alone and progression. And then Justin Fields, obviously big moves made, and they still have draft picks next year from those moves that they made to help out with Justin Fields if he's good with DJ Moore. Maybe, I know a lot of people don't like Chase Claypool, but if he's able to make a connection with Claypool, make that second round pick worth it. So it seems like a lot of these guys have great situations, but the 2021 and the 2023 guys are definitely where you get at it. And it's just hard to project where these guys are going to be at the end of the day. But I'm going to take the nod on the 2021 guys, and it's the main factor for Justin Fields. I think Trevor Lawrence is a great quarterback, and he's arguably going to be the best one here. But I think Justin Fields is where it can separate. You think a lot of rushing quarterbacks in this year in the game, just period. You got your Lamar Jacksons, you have all your different types of rushing quarterbacks, and I think Justin Fields can really set it off if he's going to have a great progression. I feel like he could be that second quarterback. You have Bryce Young, you have all these other rookies, but I think he could be that second quarterback. And if he could take better progressions, I do think he could possibly be that first. So this 2021 class is going to have a lot more question marks, especially with Mac Jones, Trey Lance, and some other different quarterbacks there. But I still think just the talent they have, they're very front loaded with Lawrence and Fields, that I think they just take the prize when it comes to comparing as for now.
So I like a lot of what you said. And honestly, I really want to pick 2023 because I'm so in love with Bryce Young.
It was rough. Yeah, it was rough. I mean, I'm kind of on the same boat with Jordan. I do like Anthony Richardson. Like, I feel like if you can find him, get him a right situation, weapons, the athletic builds, they can work if you can give them the right situations. But there's also definitely their flaws. And I really like C.J. Stroud as well. I like Hendon Hooker. I even like quarterbacks like Jay Kaner, in the situation he's at, and like with the Saints, just possibilities come. And if you put a decent quarterback in there, they'll get a chance to shine, especially if you look at a Brock Purdy situation like last year.
I think Brock Purdy is he was a product of the system last year, and he made do of everything that he needed to. He did everything that he needed to. Right. Anthony Richardson, I really feel like has bust written all over him. I know you said you're high on him, but I watched this kid at Florida, and I'm telling you, his accuracy is poor. His decision making is poor. You're talking about an athletic specimen, but in reality, Shane Steichen is going to have to dumb down that entire offense, one read and go type quarterback at this point. And in order to make it in the NFL next level, I really think you need to be able to go through progressions.
And I get that. It's just, man, when you have that athletic build, you can teach those things. If he's smart enough and he can learn, he hasn't been playing quarterback for super long. If he can learn it, he has. He didn't
get an 18 on the S2. I'll tell you that. Got an 18 on the S2? C.J. Stroud. Jeez.
Yeah. And so it's teachable. It's teachable. I'm not saying I'm high on him and he's going to be like super great, but I am high on the concept that if you get him in the right situation and he's available to learn, he definitely can be one of these better quarterbacks as well too.
All righty. I think there's a lot to get into here. I really do. But it's an interesting topic. I immediately threw 2022 out. I think Kenny Pickett is a middle of the road best quarterback in the class. I think Desmond Ridder's out of the league in 2 years. I believe that.
XFL.
And I think Brock Purdy won't have a start in the NFL after next year.
Yeah, like Cool said, I know it's a prediction, but 2023 is incomplete. We don't know what these players look like in the NFL. That's why
Yeah, you can't say that. You can't go up to the GM of the Texans and be like,
I can't.
CJ Stroud's incomplete. Let's use our pick on.
No. But where I'm coming from.
Watch how this works. You know what you know about Mac Jones, right? Would you take Mac Jones or CJ Stroud?
Mac Jones because he's been in the NFL, so he's been in.
And that's where me and you will disagree.
Yeah, I'm taking CJ Stroud.
Well, I'm not gonna,
no
I'm not
offense,
gonna,
Kyle. Sorry.
I'm not gonna rate like a Bryce Young over a Trevor Lawrence, like because he
I
hasn't
didn't
been
say
in.
to rate him over, but if you're
No, I'm not
GM of
saying
an
rate.
NFL football team and you have a choice to make as a franchise quarterback, and your choice is to build your franchise around Mac Jones or CJ Stroud, you're picking Mac. Okay, I'll take CJ.
I just haven't seen him step on an NFL field yet. That's not,
Don't matter to me.
I've seen what I need to see from Mac Jones.
Oh no, I'm not saying about Stroud. I'm not talking bad about Stroud. I'm just saying that all these three players haven't been on a field yet. So,
Well,
I'm
I'll tell
sorry.
you what, Andy Reid showed you that he had the wherewithal to draft a rookie in Patrick Mahomes and take him over a Pro Bowl starter in Alex Smith.
and Mahomes did his thing. I mean, I give him that respect.
So that's called projecting. We got to project on this show.
Okay,
and I'm
so
projecting Bryce
But
Young.
like when I said interesting was a comparison to Mahomes, y'all laughed.
Because if he's
Because we're not
Mahomes,
comparing,
he's
we're
gonna be the
projecting.
greatest.
I mean, I projected him like as like the ability of like a Mahomes and like.
Then tell me what you've seen from him to give you to say that he has the ability of Mahomes. I watched Mahomes play in the air raid at Texas Tech.
Mm-hmm.
I watched Anthony Richardson struggle against Kentucky in the SEC. So what did you see from Anthony Richardson that would comp him to a guy that threw the ball for 5,000 yards at Texas Tech?
I gotta look at the tape.
So you can't project if you don't watch, brother. All right, Kyle, what topic is next? We got 4 topics tonight, and we got to get them done by 8:00. The NBA Finals is on, and my man Doug is following us up.
We can stick with the NFL.
I love
Gene's
it.
question.
I love it. This is my question, right?
I'm excited for this question too.
All 4 of these teams have optimism. All 4 of these teams have a lot of different pieces. But I'm asking, if you were to become the GM in the NFL right now, and you could run one of these 4 football teams, which of the 4 football teams do you think is the easiest to run, or do you think is the best situation? Now, once again, this is not this season. You're taking over the franchise. And I won't mind if you want to rank them, you can rank them. But we'll start with Dylan here.
The Bears. I thought about this one for a while. I think when you look at the Bears, this is also piggybacked on my optimism with Justin Fields. I really do think Justin Fields can be one of the greater quarterbacks, at least one I said for that draft class, but I do think he can take a next step up. I look at that Bears team. They did trade that first overall pick away, getting an extra pick from the Carolina Panthers now. So they have 2 first-round picks going into that draft class. If Justin Fields can take progression, he has good timing with DJ Moore. He has good timing with Chase Claypool. Their running back situation's a little tricky. I believe it's Foreman, Roshan Johnson. It's kind of a weird mixture there with running backs. But you have good cap space. You have a quarterback that you're hoping could be a good franchise quarterback, a good receiver. I think DJ Moore is one of the better, I wouldn't say top receivers, but on the better half of receivers. Chase Claypool, arguable. And then you have a player that I really like in Darnell Mooney. If he can stay on the field, I think he's an amazing receiver. So you look at the situation with the Bears. They have cap space. They have some draft capital. All they really need is just to hope that Justin Fields is it, and then sign some good free agents. And this is a winnable division. And when you look at all of these teams, Green Bay, a lot of question marks. The Lions, I'm not too high on them. The Vikings, a lot of question marks as well, too. So you really look at the Bears. If they can get into a right situation and Fields is that guy, they can get that situation and go with it. They can run with it. Get some good free agents, get a couple more good draft picks. You have a great situation there. Plus, you have more cap than I think all of them. So it's really helpful there too.
Jordan, what team would you like to take over?
I'd probably take over the Lions. They got that good defense. They have then they get Thielen from the Vikings. So they got
Thielen went to Carolina.
Oh, he went to Panthers. Yeah. But I mean, I'm still picking Detroit. I mean, I think their defense has been proven. They're young. So that's a perfect situation for them. They got Amante Brown. They got James Williams. So I mean, they have some things to prove, but I think I'm taking over them.
Kyle?
Yeah. I mean, when I was looking at it, the Vikings, their quarterback position kind of worries me because outside of Cousins, you got like Jaron Hall. Unless Jaron Hall takes a big step, once Cousins is available to go, you got to take a step back. The Packers, their quarterback situation is Jordan Love and Sean Clifford. Good luck with that. Now, Jordan Love becomes a decent quarterback, maybe in a better position, but they have all that dead cap from Rodgers and guys like that, which I think could handcuff them for a little bit. The Lions, Goff, the running back room could be good with Montgomery. Gibbs, who's still unsigned. They have Laporta, who's unsigned. So there's some decent offensive weapons there, but it's kind of tough because I'm between the Bears and the Lions. I'll probably go Lions. I think the Bears could be the better one, but it's just that outside of DJ Moore, their wide receiver position is Mooney, Claypool, St. Brown, who are all on one-year deals. So what do they do after that to really help Justin Fields? So I'd go with Lions right
draft
now.
Picks.
I mean, yeah, they definitely have the capital to do it. Yeah, but we have to trust their front office decision.
Fair. It took the Bears this long to finally realize, hey, maybe Justin Fields is a quarterback we should do something with. Let's do something this offseason. When they had him for a little bit now.
And you can say the Bears probably have the worst coach in the division in Eberflus.
If I'm the GM, the Bears are getting some things done.
If I'm really looking at this and rating this, I'll go 4 through 1. The team I'd least want to take over would be the Green Bay Packers. I think their front office is terrible as it is. I'd have to completely rebuild. They're awful at drafting. They drafted the 2 wrong players from the Georgia defense last year when they had the opportunity to draft the 2 right players. They had Dalton Kincaid sitting in their lap. They went Lucas Van Noy. I hate the way the Green Bay Packers do business, and I don't think Jordan Love is as advertised. Number 3, I'm going to say this, and I'll say it very clearly. It's probably the Minnesota Vikings, and the reason it is because I don't know what Kirk Cousins can do to get you over the hump. I feel like when you look at teams in the NBA, there's teams that hit a mediocrity, right? They can't get past the second round. That's why the 76ers started the process. They had a good team, not a great team, and they could never put it together. I feel like the Minnesota Vikings are that mediocre team in the NFL that can show up some weeks. They have an elite wide receiver in Justin Jefferson. I think Jordan Addison's going to be a perfect complement to him. I love that they got rid of that Dalvin Cook money and they're not investing any money in the running back room. I think that's important. But Kirk Cousins, they don't have a franchise quarterback, in my opinion. And I think that it's a long way away from them getting one. In order for them to get in the top 10 to draft a franchise quarterback, they have to be bad. And I think they're too good to be bad. So the Vikings would be my number 3. Not to mention their secondary is awful. 2 and 1 are very tough for me. And I love the Bears and what they're doing. I like Justin Fields, DJ Moore. I think Justin Fields can be an absolute superstar. The Bears have a ton of cap space. They have a ton of draft capital going forward after trading the number 1 pick and trading back in the draft. The Lions have a lot in place, and I think they have their franchise quarterback in the wings. So Hendon Hooker could step in next year with Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamison Williams, Jahmyr Gibbs, and a defense that's built. I look at that team, and I'm excited for them. I think that a lot of people forget they drafted Sam Laporta. Sam Laporta is going to be their opening day starting tight end. He was drafted ahead of a lot of he was drafted ahead of Michael Mayer, who most people thought was the number 1 or number 2 tight end in this class. Sam Laporta is an absolute stud at tight end. So
wasn't he the second tight end just drafted?
Yes.
Yeah. Over Musgraves, over all those other guys
Musgrave, over Michael Mayer.
Yeah.
Right behind. So I would probably take the Lions, but that's no slight on Chicago. I think both those situations, the Bears and the Lions, have very ideal situations for a GM to walk into. draft capital. I think the Lions drafted great this year. I don't like the Jahmyr Gibbs pick where they got him, but if you flop the pick that they made and Jack Campbell and Jahmyr Gibbs are your second-round picks, and Hendon Hooker and Brian Branch are your first-round picks, no one bats an eye. So the Lions got Sam Laporta, Hendon Hooker, Jack Campbell, Brian Branch, and Jahmyr Gibbs in one draft. I like where the Lions are headed. I'll go Lions in this one, but it's very, very tight because I think Justin Fields is a franchise quarterback.
Agreed. It was definitely close for me too. I like Justin Fields better than I like the Goff or Hendon Hooker situation. I think Fields, I like Fields more there, but I definitely see your guys' points. It was really, really close for me as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna say if I had to rank, I go with who I want to own. Detroit first, Chicago second, Vikings third, and then Green Bay fourth. Because
I think we all have the same rankings, but I just have 1 and 2 swapped.
Daniel Hunter might be on the move too, so that's a big piece they might be missing on the defense.
Come to Seattle. Trade him.
It's an interesting overall division. I think it's wide open. It's the only division where not one team is more than plus 400 odds to win the division.
I think Detroit should be the favorite.
What about the NFC South? Is that not super close?
I think that the Buccaneers are over plus 400. And I think the Falcons, I think that this is the closest division in football, top to bottom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know RJ is your boy, but I had to go back to that Baker Mayfield Lamar comment. I think he's trolling me, but give me.
Of course he's trolling. Every week.
Because I didn't say anything, but you saw my facial expressions. So I didn't want to say anything.
Every week he's on here, he says the same thing to troll you.
Feeling dangerous.
And every week Jordan goes, I gotta go to that comment.
I gotta go, man.
I gotta go to that comment.
It's like it still just presses my buttons.
Oh man. So I would
for me.
I'm going Lions and I'm going Bears. That's my 1-2. But it's tough. It's very tough. Because I like what the Bears did. The Bears have draft capital and they have so much money to spend. I just think the Bears need to do a lot more work to retool that defense. And the Lions already have staples in that defense with Aiden Hutchinson, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Jack Campbell. I think that Alex Anzalone. They got Rodrigo. I just like the overall depth of that Lions defense. And don't hate on Rodrigo. You watch Hard Knocks, you know what Rodrigo is.
Mm-hmm.
Love me some Rodrigo. Next question on the docket. We have 2 left.
Yep.
Young duos. Now, do I have to pick out of these 4? Because I didn't really understand this.
Yeah, I thought it was best duos as well, too. But
yeah, but I feel like
duos?
Throw up, Giannis and Middleton and stuff like that, whatever. I figured the thing's been, young quarterbacks. I figured we'll go with young duos looking at like the next 2-3 years. Where are you putting your stock in? If you rank them 1 through 4, who do you think will be the best duo all the way down to the worst? Out of these 4? Yep.
See, I'm not trying to be smart when I say this.
No, go ahead.
I probably wouldn't have Giddey as my number 2 over in Oklahoma City. After what I think from Chet in the Summer League, I love Oklahoma City's.
Yeah. I live in Oklahoma, and the vibes are definitely good in Oklahoma. People aren't really complaining about their teams. They've always been a pretty loyal fan base, but now they're just like, man, we got time. Let it work.
If everyone does exactly what the chat's doing, I'm going to make an argument for something else. I'm very close, but give me the order, Kyle.
All right, so we'll go with – let's start with Dylan on this one.
Thank you. I don't want to start with this one. I want to start.
Okay, so looking at these 4, it's definitely really interesting. You look at what Fox and Sabonis have done this year, definitely making it farther in the playoffs, and just not – I wouldn't say farther in the playoffs, but at least a better team this season than anyone predicted. Great. Obviously, there's a lot of question marks around that trade being they had to trade a piece, want that piece being right next to him right now, Tyrese Halliburton, to make this work. A lot of question marks were thrown out there. A lot of Kings fans were unhappy, and it proved to be really working. This is a really great combo. Their offense that they have out there is just so nice. I like De'Aaron Fox's speed. I like his ability to just be ability to get to the rim. There we go. I was trying to figure out the word. His ability to get to the rim, and then Sabonis is just craftiness. He's a great rebounder, a great scorer, a great playmaker. He's a part of that playmaking big that like a Jokic or something like that doesn't necessarily just need to be in the paint. Like they can do it all. He's a great rebounder, and he's not too bad on the defensive end. But it's rough because when you look at that Cleveland combo, I like that Cleveland combo when you got Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland. Both of them are great guards. I don't think Garland did as great as you would want him to this season, especially with how Cleveland ended up finishing the season. But Donovan Mitchell, man, he's really good. He's really good. Averaged how much? 27, 28 points this season, if I'm not wrong, close to that range. Darius Garland is also a very good playmaker. But if I had to take one, I think I'm going to go with that OKC combo. I think what they're doing there is really good. And I think when you think of young duos, you have to think of the pieces around them. And I feel like OKC's at a point where their stars like SGA or Chet or Giddey or whoever you want to put there are going to shine because it seems like the surrounding pieces are supposed to be pieces that fit their stars really well. When you look at like Jalen Williams or Lou Dort, none of those guys are exceptional like shot makers. They don't need the ball in their hand to do all these different things. Like they get in there and play basketball. They let SGA do what he needs to do. They let Giddey do what he needs to do. And they're probably going to let Chet do what he needs to do. If he needs to drop 30 a night to win a game, they're going to do all the other stuff that needs to happen. And I think OKC's in a really good spot. So I think that OKC duo, if you want to make it SGA and Chet, SGA, Giddey, whoever you want to make it, I'm making it that OKC combo.
Okay.
All right, Jordan, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Eagles Elite Podcast. I took my order. I said Kings, OKC. Because I think So Kyle, so let me ask you: is it like 5-year protection? Like how long?
Just when it's said and done, who do you think is gonna work out the best?
I think it's gonna. Yeah. So I had the Kings number 1. I like Sabonis and I like De'Aaron Fox. The way they handled their. I mean, yeah, they did lose to the Warriors in the finals, but I'm sorry, not the finals, but in the playoffs. I know Kyle, you're about to be like, "Oh no, Jordan." No, sorry, they lost in the playoffs. And then Donovan Mitchell, yes, he had a good season, but when it came to like playing the Knicks and he got double teamed, he was kind of like got exposed. He was forcing up turnovers, forcing up shots in that series. But he did have a good season overall, like for season. But we saw that when they were forcing doubles on him and forcing him to make shots and forcing him to make passes, he was turning the ball over left and right. If he played good, they would have won that series, or they would have got close to winning that series. Then I have 3. I have I had him at 3. Okay, see, I like Shai. I like Giddey, and then I think when Chet comes back, I think Giddey's gonna feed off of Chet when he gets healthy for next season. So I have them at 2, and then I have there's so much not on potential, but there's so many like on like with the what's his name? Mathurin, I think his name. Yeah, Mathurin. So
Benedict Mathurin, respect the name. Arizona's own instant offense. My man is oatmeal.
Yeah, so like he I kind of have them last because they're so like we only seen them 2 like this season, so I'm gonna have to see more of them. But I like Halliburton. I like Mathurin, but I had that in order. So Kings 1, 2, OKC, 3 Cleveland, and 4 Indiana.
All righty. Here's the big thing that I think that you guys are missing. I love De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis. I do, but they have the best team around them of the other 3 teams that are on this list. So, like, if you look at the pieces that are around the Sacramento Kings, they're the best 1-2, like as far as record-wise, because they have the best overall team. I actually think they have the best coach of the 4 that are on this list. So I'm going to be different. I've seen a lot of people have the Kings 1, OKC 2. Kings 1, OKC 2. I'll go to Cavs 1, Indiana 2, the Kings 3, and OKC 4. Let me break down why. Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell have the ability to be the best backcourt in basketball. That backcourt is there, not to mention they have a stretch four in Evan Mobley that's going to consistently get better. That was their first year together, and for the good part of the season, they were a top 3 seed in the East. Donovan Mitchell has already shown you he is playoff proven. Darius Garland has the bag, and that man can pass the rock. I'll have Cleveland 1. You guys are disrespectful. Jordan didn't even know who Benedict Mathurin was. Tyrese Halliburton is an all-star this year. Benedict Mathurin, I said out of this draft, I said there's 3 elite players. Paolo Banchero, Jaden Ivey, and Benedict Mathurin. Benedict Mathurin is instant offense. Go back and watch him play at Arizona. Go back and watch his season. Guy averaged 16.7 points per game as a rookie coming off the bench on one of the worst teams in basketball. They're going to build Halliburton, Hield, Mathurin, Miles Turner. I think Indiana's going to be a good team going forward. And I think it's disrespectful the way we're talking about Benedict Mathurin like he's not there, like he's the 8th best player on this list. I think Mathurin's, if I'm starting a franchise, I'll take Mathurin over Giddey. I'll take Mathurin over Sabonis. I would. I love Benedict Mathurin. Guy does it all, and he can fill up a stat sheet. Third, I have De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis. I think Sabonis is a great passing big. He reminds me a lot of his father. He's a modern day version of his father. Passes out of it. It's just when he gets against Nikola Jokic, Joel Embiid, big centers, they get in a lot of trouble. Sacramento can't stop them. He doesn't have the girth or the body. He's probably a better 4 than he is a 5. They have to create. They have to get a 5 for him. That's why I have them 3. And Oklahoma City, there's no shade here. I just think Giddey might be their 4th best player next year. It's nothing against Giddey. I love Giddey. SGA's a stud. I just think that team's built depth-wise. So if you're asking dynamic duos, give me Hield, Garland, Halliburton, Benedict Mathurin, Fox, Sabonis, and then SGA and Josh Giddey.
Okay. I mean, that actually does make a lot of sense. So for me, when I was looking at this, I went with the Thunder first because I do think they might have found a sweet spot in the West where going into next year, you're going to have Denver. I think there's going to be questions about Memphis. There's going to be questions about even Sacramento. Can they duplicate what they did this year? Next year, now that everybody's going to know Sacramento's pretty well built. I could see Oklahoma City taking a big jump next year. I do agree. Maybe I shouldn't have used Giddey, but I kind of used him because Chet didn't play this year, so I just threw Giddey on there because that's who we saw. But I would go the Thunder first because I'm a big fan of SGA. I love Giddey, his kind of Swiss Army knife type of action. He may not blow you away with his box score, but he's hitting every column a little bit here, a little bit there. I went Cleveland next because, like you said, Gene, early in the season, Cleveland looked like they could have been the best team in the East. Mitchell's a guy who I think fits what Cleveland needed. Cleveland had all the defense, but they never had that guy who late in the game, you give him the ball and tell him, get a bucket. That's literally what Donovan Mitchell's great at. So I think he and Garland will play off each other better next year. This year was definitely a learning experience for the two of them. I think they'll be much better next year. Third, I would go with the Pacers as well because I'm a big fan of Halliburton. And I think Halliburton, maybe because he plays in Indiana, might have got slept on a little bit. You know, Mathurin as well probably wasn't a guy that maybe a lot of people were paying attention to coming out in the rookie class, but athleticism gets you a lot of places in the NBA in today's game, and he has that. I'm only putting the Kings 4th because I do have questions in terms of Fox and Sabonis next year. I think they might take a step back.
I mean, I think Fox and Keegan Murray are the 1-2 of the future. And not against Sabonis. I love Sabonis. I think he's a great piece. but you already have your power forward in Keegan Murray, and I don't think Sabonis is a 5. I don't.
I agree with that.
I think Sabonis gets eaten up by good 5s.
Yeah.
Even Rudy Gobert has his way with him, and he's not an offensive threat, but Sabonis has to work so hard to make sure his team gets rebounds in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing against Sabonis. I love me some De'Aaron Fox. I'm not trying to throw shade at anybody. I just was tired of the Benedict Mathurin slander. Guy averaged 16.7, 5, and 4 as a rookie coming off the bench. I think Benedict Mathurin is instant offense. And remember I said that. I said there was 3 elite players that came out of this draft, like I told you. Paolo Banchero, Jaden Ivey, and Benedict Mathurin. Any comments? Yeah, I went.
No, I mean, I like Keegan Murray. I like Keegan Murray. He was in that draft class, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I like Keegan Murray a lot. I was really high out of him out of Iowa, so I would put him as like an honorable mention on that list. But yeah, I mean, I really like Benedict Mathurin. Like you said, pull up that tape. Nuclear in the NCAA tournament. Like, just crazy. It's just team down 10. Okay, Benedict Matherin's just going to score 14 straight just because the team needs it. You want him to hit a 3? He's going to hit 3 of them in a row and then dunk on the opponent the next drive. So
even their
great basketball player.
He had 32 in the loss.
Yeah, crazy. Great player.
All right, we got our final question tonight. We got 12 minutes left. We're wrapping them up. Jordan has a fun question for us.
Yes.
I love this. Go ahead, Jordan.
Yeah.
Break it down.
So I want to So the first question, and I have a second question, and I have like some stats just for the other. So okay. So the first question is: if you were a player in this current modern day NBA, would you rather accomplish the Wilt Chamberlain record, the 100-point game record, where that means you have to score like 101 to break the record, or be the 5th player ever to score a quadruple double? Now, mind you, before y'all answer in the chat, there's only 4 players who in NBA history who have ever matched or gotten to a quadruple double. I'll go in order. So Nate the Great Thurman had 22 points, 14 rebounds, and 13 assists and 12 blocks in under 45 minutes against the Atlanta Hawks in 1974. So it's 4-1. So 3, Alvin Robertson, 20 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists, 10 steals, 1986 against the Phoenix Suns. 3, Hakeem Olajuwon had 18 points, 16 rebounds, 10 assists, and 11 blocks in 1990. And last but not least, David Robinson had 34 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, and 10 blocks in 1994 against the Pistons. So, and if y'all can't decide what y'all want to do as a player, what we're going to break, name me a player in this current NBA who can come close to getting, a quadruple double, be the 5th player. I guess I'll go with that question first. I'll say the only player I see is Joker in that conversation. I think he can maybe not just, I can say he can get steals, but I mean, he gets the points, the rebounds, the blocks. All he needs is a steal to get that quadruple double. I know it's hard, but I mean, those records are hard because, the closest player to ever touch 100 was probably Kobe with 81. I know Booker has 70. I think Mitchell has 70 this season.
Man, I'm gonna mic drop this. I'm gonna mic drop this. I don't want to go first because I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna mic drop this conversation.
It's a fun question, so
it is a fun question. Pick the order.
Well, I mean, I guess I'll go first. I think I'd rather break. I think I break the 100-point record because I think quadruple double, you have to get steals. That's hard to do because in this NBA, fouls, you can't touch somebody without fouling. I mean, people have come close to the 100-point record, but I think that if I was a player, 81, that's like 20 points away.
That's still a big gap.
That's 7 threes.
Still a big gap, but I'm saying
that's 7 threes to break it.
I'm saying I say close. I mean, 20. It's kind of far away, yes, but that's the only number.
Let me ask you a question real quick.
Yeah.
If the Denver Nuggets beat the Heat tonight by 19, do you think the game was close?
Nope.
I mean, I'm saying individual points, not team points.
Don't matter. If my goal was to get my goal to get 100 points, and I got 81. I fell short, way short.
But
of
that's what I'm
100
saying.
points.
Came close. I didn't say get
That's
to
not close.
100.
I don't think 19 is close.
Yeah, at least in the stature, but I understand what you mean.
I mean, but it's. I mean, I guess the way the game has changed, the 3-point shot, it's not that hard. It's not. Well, it's hard to get to 100, but
Not that hard to get. Yo, you do it every
no,
show.
no. I know what I meant was like the score, the way players can score and get their buckets is like kind of.
He does it every show. Every show.
You can go to the foul line.
Not that hard to get 100 points.
No, I'm saying yeah. I'm
You
saying
have to think about it. What are the odds you can
obviously
score 25?
But what's the odds you can? But what's the odds you can? But what's the odds you can get a quadruple double? You know, like
I'll go first. I can't hold back. I'll go second.
That's a good question. So I wanted to.
I'm gonna tell you the next player that's gonna get a quad double, and I think it's gonna happen in 2023, 2024. The next player that gets a quad double in the NBA is Victor Wembanyama.
Wow.
The guy brings the ball up. He's 7'3", brings the ball up. He can easily get the passing. He can easily get the rebounds. He's definitely going to get the points. And the block shots being that tall will not be as tough for him as you think it will be. Victor Wembanyama will be the next person to get a quad double. And I actually believe he'll have multiple throughout his career. I don't think it's going to be crazy. Now, which one would I rather break? Yeah, the 100-point mark. Would you rather be Kobe Bryant or David Robinson? I'll wait.
Depending on what size you are, you know, if you're a center, depends on which one. But I guess, yeah, I see where you're coming from.
Who would you rather be in the NBA, Kobe Bryant or David Robinson?
I mean, I like to dominate.
You read those stat sheets out? The one that Hakeem Olajuwon had didn't even sound that dominant.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, 18 points,
18,
rebounds.
13, and 10.
No, 18, 16, 10, and 11.
Sounds like a Ben Simmons stat line.
I mean, yeah.
I want to be Kobe, bro. You drop 100 points in a basketball game? You realize how absurd that is?
Yeah.
The answer is 100 points. Dropping 100 points in a basketball game is I don't think it'll ever happen. I think it's unbreakable. I don't think it will never happen. And that happened in an NBA where they didn't score as much. A lot of people forget Kobe Bryant had like 26 points in the fourth quarter of the game. He had 81.
That's wild. Yeah, but like when I was looking at the numbers in the years, like it's crazy. Like the last person, Dave Robinson, 1994. That's the last time. So like that says like how like
and then this year it happens again.
Well, I think I said modern players like today, like in the league right now. But
I see Wemby this year.
I see Wemby doing it. I see Jokic doing it first though.
Nope, I don't think Jokic is gonna get the blocks.
How many buckets did he have? I think
he's not a shot blocker. He's not who he is.
The blocks will be the toughest for Jokic.
Yeah, he gets the triple double every night with the other three.
Yeah.
He'd have to have a guy driving into him every time.
Freddie said Giannis. I mean, I thought of Giannis.
Giannis is a great pick. Giannis is a good pick. I don't think it's going to be Giannis. I think it's going to be Wemby, but that's okay. I think Wemby is going to shock people with how many shots he deflects, tips, and blocks.
Why not both? I guess your answer to like Kobe or Robinson. I mean, yeah, why not both? I mean, you can dominate being big or dominate being.
If I'm playing like 2K, I'd rather get the quad double.
Oh yeah,
because I that's the player I am, and my player is the guy that wants to fill up the stat sheet. I want to block shots, rebounds, pass, score. But if I'm being honest with you, if I'm in the NBA, like guys, you score 100 points in the game, you never have to worry about a contract ever again.
Yeah.
So I can go. So I guess Gene went. So I guess I'll go. I'll do.
You already win.
No, I'm saying
he was saying the next person.
No, the pick. Yeah, I was saying so. Gene went. So I guess I'll go with Dylan next.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty simple. I would rather break that 100-point quad double. Yeah, that's definitely what I want.
100-point quad double, man.
I want triples in every category, actually. But yeah, breaking the 100 points. Like you said, there's been would be the fifth person to have
fifth player, yep.
Yeah, fifth person to have a quadruple double. You know how many people have broken 100 points?
Nobody.
One. And then you know how many people have gotten 101.
It wasn't even on camera.
Yeah, you know how many people have broken 101 points? 0.
Well,
so that's going to already edge me. Like getting up that high already puts me in the history books. Breaking it just puts me further in it. Those records that's probably never going to get broken. Like Gene said, it isn't going to get broken. So being the one to break it, obviously that's the one I want. You know, shout out to the people who got those quadruple doubles. Obviously only 4. It's a really hard thing to do, but it's something that can be done, and it's something that's been done multiple times. No one's gotten to this mark more than once. So it's definitely tough to get to. So yeah, breaking that 100 points. And if I had to think of the next person, I like Giannis. I definitely like the Victor Wembanyama comp. That's the first person I would put up there. Thinking of different people who could get close, but just by stealing the ball, I think someone like Drew Holiday, maybe, he could just have a game where he would go out and get 10 steals and everyone would be like, okay, that's just Drew Holiday, or just a good defensive point guard. I wouldn't say like Marcus Smart, but someone who's a great gritty defensive point guard, gets 10 steals one day. And triple double is not that hard for a lot of these point guards nowadays. I like DeJounte Murray. I wanted to say that and agree on it, but I'm a Hawks fan, so I didn't want to be like, throw out DeJounte Murray. He's the dude to do it. But yeah, definitely a point guard like DeJounte Murray would definitely fit that mold. If he could get like 18, 15, 11, 10, that's a lot of what these stat lines are. Just filling up the stat sheets, nothing super high in one specific category.
All right, Kyle, we're wrapping up. We got 3 minutes left. Give us your breakdown.
I think it's simple for me. Kind of like Dylan said, I could either be one of 2 or one of 5. I'd rather be the guy who breaks 100, and then now this picture would kind of go away. And maybe I'm the one holding up 101 or 102.
Kyle with 101 with his face, smiling.
Yeah.
Having a Boston hat on and a cigar in his mouth, man.
Exactly. And that picture will live on like forever. Like the next person who gets the quad double, there's probably a good chance that a lot of fans wouldn't even know the first 4 who did it.
And you had to look up a list for it, but everyone knows who broke that 100 points.
Yeah. I mean, I knew Olajuwon did it only because I was a big Olajuwon fan. I kind of forgot David Robinson was the last one to do it, to be honest.
Yeah, 94.
Yeah.
Who do you think is the next player that can do it?
So I think the next player, I mean, first person that came to mind was Giannis, but I agree with Wembanyama. I mean, Holmgren, maybe. I think it's going to be one of these athletic bigs who's going to be able to do it. So I could see one of those guys.
Bro, I need to see Chet versus Wemby in a game.
That's going to be crazy.
That's going to be a nice good game.
Not a lot of people were buying tickets for Spurs Thunder, but now they are now.
Right.
I need to see it.
I didn't even think of Wemby when I started the quadruple double. Like he could definitely, be that next young player to do it.
The Spurs are going to play him 48 minutes. No, I'm just kidding. No, they're going to play him like very lightly until they have the proper team to build around him and let him go.
I was going to – never mind. I'm going to say it. Never mind. Because you're going to be like, oh, what? I was going to say –
you already said it was easy to get to 100 points.
I was going to say AD to get a quadruple double. Because he's athletic, big, can get blocks.
I wouldn't ever bet on it. I wouldn't ever bet he would ever get it in his career. But to say he would have a crazy game, that would probably be the best game of his career. He was playing like his best. He was having a Kobe farewell tour against the Utah Jazz game. Like, do everything, AD. Go.
All right,
even your fellow Lakers fans said
real quick, guys, before we got Doug coming on next. Yep. Tune in to Sports Empire Network. Appreciate everyone in the comments tonight. We had a ton. Appreciate that.
Yep.
All the comments, all the people viewing and listening on YouTube, Facebook. Download us on Spotify. Before we go, I need just a quick 3 seconds or less prediction for tonight's game, Miami versus Denver, Game 5. Kyle.
Nuggets ended tonight. Jokic MVP.
Dylan.
Yeah, I don't think the addition of Hero will change anything. I think the Nuggets get it done unless the Heat just pull it out at the end and surprise us with something. But I think the Nuggets get it done. Jokic MVP, but you want to give it to Jamal Murray, who cares? But Jokic just played the best.
Jordan.
I want to say Denver, but I'm gonna go Heat can take this game. They've been down 3-1 before. They've been against the wall before, so I go Heat this game.
Just when you think he's crazy, I'm going with him. I got the Heat tonight. Himmy Butler. I until a hero comes along. Guys, I appreciate everybody tuning in. That's Jordan Jean-Louis.
Yep.
Dylan Reed, the newest addition to the Cheap Seats podcast.
Yes,
The Prince of Production, Kyle Edwards. I'm Wire to Wire Gene, and we are signing out.